Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Let me again welcome you to Meso African Motives, whereby we are going to be still on economic and management science, but right now we are on paper two. So still we are preparing and revising for the upcoming exams that you are going to sit on. So let us make sure that you are going to be together from the start of this presentation to the end of it, so that we know for sure that you are going to be ready for the exams that you are going to write. So that is that. So this is in relation to grade 9. So we are still on grade 9. So this paper was written in Gauteng Province. It was written in Gauteng Province, November 2023. November 2023. So we are to take an hour on this paper. We are to take an hour, that is the duration of the paper. So the total marks is 80 marks. So we are going to, the total marks that is given is 80 marks. So this paper, it has 8 pages and 7 pages of answer book. So that is that. So without wasting much time, let us quickly go to the instructions and information. So here we are on instructions and information. Here are our instructions and information. So instruction number 1, this question paper consists of section A, B, and C, based on the prescribed content framework in the CAPS amendment document and ATP. So now we have section A, that is all topics. So we have question 1.1, whereby we are going to answer the matching items. Question 1.2, we are going to choose the correct word. Question 1.3 is multiple choice question. So section B, that is about what the economy. Questions are going to mainly based on economy. So that is section B. Then question 2, trade unions. Section C, entrepreneurship, whereby that is section C. Question 3, functions of the business. Question 4, business plan. So instruction number 2 now says answer all the questions. So meaning answer all the questions are compulsory. Answer all the questions in the answer book provided, write neatly and legible. Write neatly and legible. So now let us move on. So now we are on our question 1. We are now on our question 1, section A, matching items 1.1. So it reads as follows. Choose the term in column B that matches a description in column A and write only letter A to G next to the question number. That is 1.1.1 to 1.1 to 1.5 in our answer book. So the given example is that 1.16H. So this is how we are going to answer this matching question. So 1.1, column A, yes, we are told is what? It's a description, but column B is what? The items. So we are to match this description with the items that are given in column B. That is that. So without wasting time, let's attend to them. Let's attend to this matching question. So 1.1 read as follows. The biggest federation of trade unions in South Africa. So now we have to choose the correct item that is going to match that description. And the correct item there is D. That is COSATU. That is COSATU. The correct answer is D. So we know that when you're talking about COSATU, you're talking about the Congress of South African Trade Unions. So that is a major workers' organization that protects employees' rights. We know that its function is to protect employee rights. So that is a major workers' organization, COSATU. So hope we are together. Then we come to 1.12. It says this document outlines the facts, processes, and procedures of the business. So we want to know the correct answer. And the correct answer is C. The correct answer is C, business plan. We know that the business plan is a written document that outlines company's goals, strategies, target market, financial plans. So that is why now is the one that meshes this description, whereby it says outline the facts, processes, procedures of the business. So moving on to 1.13, a person a person with a good idea who combines factors of production to produce goods and services. So now we want the correct answer on 1.13, and the correct answer is E. That is an entrepreneur. That is an entrepreneur. So we know that entrepreneur is a person who starts business, or is a person who starts and runs a business, taking financial risk. So this is E. This is a B. It's the person with what? With a good idea. The person who starts the business, who comes up with the idea and combines factors of production and produce goods and services. So the correct answer is E. The correct answer is E. So moving on to 1.14. A short and striking memorable phrase used in advertising. A short and striking and memorable phrase used in advertising. So that this a slogan. The correct answer is A. A slogan. Slogan is a short, striking, memorable phrase that you are using when you're doing advertising. So that is that a slogan should be short, a catchy phrase that promotes business or product. For example, we can just say, just do it. So you see how short it is. So it's very catchy, a phrase that is promoting what our promoting a business product. Now moving on to 1.15. The desire for goods and services not needed to survive. The desire for goods and services not needed to survive. So the correct answer is 1, B. Here the correct answer is B. The correct answer is B. Because want is something people desire but don't necessarily need to survive. So hope we are together on that. That is want. So now let us move on to 1.2. Let us move on to 1.2. 1.2 is whereby now we're going to choose the correct word. As it says, for each of the statements below, choose the correct words within the brackets. Write only the correct words next to the question number in your answer book. That is, for example, 1.21 need. So that is how we're going to answer this question. So now we're going to start with 1.2. 1.2. So 1.21 reads as follows. They explains what the business aims to achieve in the medium or long term. So we are given mission or vision. So the correct answer there is a vision. The correct answer is vision. We know the vision explains what the business aims to achieve in the medium or long term. So a vision is a long-term dream. A vision is a long-term or a dream of what business wants to achieve. So the correct answer is vision. A vision, the long-term goal or dream of what business wants to achieve. For example, to be Africa's leading smoothie brand. So you see, that is that. 1.22, a symbol or design that identifies the business product or service is the dash. Is the, then we are given, in the brackets, we are given logo or motto. So the correct answer is logo. The correct answer is logo. Logo is the symbol or design that represents a business. For example, the Nike tick mark. So that is the logo. So the correct answer is logo. Now we are moving on to 1.23. 1.23, a dash. A dash is important to employees as they need to know what their job entails, what is expected of them, how they should perform their duties. So now we are given job description of a sleep. So that is job description. The correct answer is job description. That is job description. We know that job description summarizes what duties, responsibility of a specific position. So that is that. We know, for example, a cashier handles payments, assist customers. Those are the duties. So the correct answer is what? Is the job description. So moving on to 1.24. The dash is concerned with the external and internal image of the business. So we are given marketing function and public relations functions. So the correct answer there is public relation function. The correct answer is public relation function. As we know that public relation function is managing company's image and communication with the public. So that is that. So the correct answer is public relation. 1.25. Dash is the top level management function concerned with the overall running of the business. Now the correct answer there is general management function, not risk management. So it's general management function. We know that general management function oversees all business operation to ensure goals are met. Like, for example, to say a manager coordinating departments to increase efficiency. So the correct answer there is general management function. That is the correct answer. That's our correct answer. Now we are to move on. Now we are moving on to multiple choice question 1.3. We are now on multiple choice questions 1.3. So we are going to answer those questions. So it reads as follows. Various options are provided as possible answers to the following questions. Choose the correct answer and write A to D next to the question number 1.31 to 1.35 in the answer book provided. In the answer book provided. So now we're going to start with what? 1.31. Trade unions are responsible for, so we are given 4 options and we are to choose the correct answer there. So the correct answer is C. The correct answer is C. Trade unions are responsible for ensuring that industrial action is lawful. That is that. Trade unions are responsible for ensuring that industrial action is lawful. 1.32 says sustainability is when. Then we're given 4 options. So we have to choose the correct answer. So it says the correct answer is A. The correct answer is A. Sustainability is when the focus is on meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. So that is the correct answer. Now we are moving on to 1.33. As it reads as follows, the production cost that does not change when the number of goods change. Example, rent is called what? So the correct answer there is B, fixed cost. Regardless of the number of units produced, but the rent amount will still stay the same. So that is a fixed cost. That is the fixed cost. That is a correct answer. Now we are moving on to 1.34. Which of the following sentences best describe a Fred falling in her nail beauty business? 1.34. So we're given there's four options, then the correct answer is A. During winter months, there is no demand for the pedicures as ladies wear closed shoes and boots. So this sentence best describes the Fred of Lindway in her nail beauty of business. That during winter months, there's no demand for pedicures as ladies wear closed shoes and boots. Now we are moving on to 1.35. Which trade union represent the municipal workers? So the correct answer there is C, that is now. So that is that. So this is our total section A. This is our total section A. So let us move on. Let us move on to section B now. Let us be on section B. So here we are on section B, the economy, question 2, trade unions. So 2.1, read 2.1 question says, define the term trade union. Define the term trade union. So let us go to our answers and see how is this defined. So here are the answers on question 2.1. So a trade union is an organized association of workers in a trade or group of trades or profession formed to protect the rights and interests of the members. So it is there to protect the rights and interests of its members. So that is trade union, and you are to get your 2 marks. 2.2, tabulate the difference between go slow and picketing. Tabulate the difference between go slow and picketing. So now we have to come to our answers. So here we are where we are going to talk about the differences between these two, picketing and go slow. So when we're talking about picketing, in short, we're talking about this is when workers protest outside the workplace. When workers protest outside their workplace to persuade others not to enter or to draw public attention to a dispute. So that is what picketing is all about. For example, if employees standing outside a factory holding signs during a wage dispute. So that's what we mean. So like here it said, workers involved in an industrial action go to their workplace to increase support of their cause. They might do this by communicating information or persuading others not to work or not to carry out part of their contracts of the employment. They do not do any work or do not even enter the premises. Like I've said, they don't even enter the premises. So that's what we mean when you're saying, when you're talking about the picketing. That is what we mean when you're talking about picketing. When the workers protest, they protest outside the workplace. They protest whereby they are persuading others not to even enter the premises. So that is that. So now coming to the go slow. When we're talking about go slow, in short, we are trying to say workers deliberately reduce their work speed. They deliberately reduce their work speed to pressure management without completely stopping the work. They still do the work, but at a very low pace. For example, we can talk about factory workers purposefully working slower than usual to demand better safety conditions. So that is that. Like here, it's a form of industrial action in which work or progress is deliberately delayed or slowed down. So that is the difference between these two, picketing and go slow. With picketing, we know we are stopping to work at all. We are stopping, we are protesting, or at least we are outside the work environment, when we are outside the workplace. But with this one, we are still coming to work, but we are trying to reduce what? Delay and slow down the work. So that is that. So now let us go to 2.3. We are now on 2.3. Discuss three functions of trade union. Discuss three functions of trade union. So here we are with these functions. Here we are with these functions. The first one is the bargaining to improve their members' wages, benefits, and working conditions, and to manage retrenchment. So we are improving members' wage and benefits and working conditions. So meaning to say the trade unions negotiate with employers to ensure fair pay. So here they ensure for pay, safe environments, and benefits like leave or bonuses. So you see, for example, let's make an example under that point, whereby we can say a union negotiating a 10% salary increase for all employees. So you see, we are improving their members' wage, benefits, working conditions, and stuff like that. So that is that. Now we are moving to bullet number 2. We are moving on to bullet number 2, where it says working to get government to pass laws that will improve their members' life. So here we are saying we provide insurance. We are trying by all means to working to get government pass laws that will improve the members of their lives. That is that. So moving on to this one, providing professional training, legal advice, legal representation for their members. So here we are providing essential training, legal advice, representation. So they are trying to help members understand their rights and offer support in legal or disciplinary matters. You know, for example, whereby the union is providing legal help to worker unfairly dismissed. So that is that. Also, organizing industrial action. So trade unions play strikes, go slows, or picketing to demand better treatment. That is why we are saying they organize industrial action. So that is that. For example, a union organizing a strike after failed wage negotiations. That is organizing industrial action that we are talking about. Also representing the workers' interests during disputes with employers. So they are representing workers' interests during the dispute. They act as a mediators between workers and employers in conflicts. For example, a union leader attending a meeting with management to settle a grievance. So that is that. Also working with employers to get employers greater say in their decision that management make. So working with employers for employee participation in decisions. That's what we are in short saying. So unions collaborate with management to involve workers in decision making. So that is that. So now let us move on to now 2.4. Let us move now on to 2.4. Here we are on our 2.4. Read the following statements before answering the question. Most trade unions are dependent of any employer. However, trade unions try to develop close working relationship with employees. So now we have to answer the questions that follow beneath that the scenario or case study. So the first question on 2.4, explain two advantages of trade unions for employers or employees. Explain two advantages of trade unions for employers or employees. So we are talking about the advantages of trade unions. Advantages of trade unions 2.4. So here are our answers for 2.41. Trade unions assist firms in instituting a new working practices which can increase labor productivity. So trade unions help explain and implement changes to work smoothly. So they are there to help explain and implement changes to work smoothly. For example, union supports management in introducing new safety procedures. So that is that. Again, trade unions bring workers closer to management and represent their interest, meaning to say they act as a communication bridge between workers and employers. For example, a union representative discussing a shift schedules with management. Hope we are together. Also, higher wages to boost the motivation and productivity of what? Of workers. So we're talking about fair pay encourages workers to perform better. Fair pay encourages workers to perform better. For example, after a union negotiated wage increase, factory output improves. The production grows. So now that is 2.41. So now we are coming to 2.42. Explain two now disadvantages of trade unions for business or employers. Now we're coming to the answers on that question. So here are our answers for question 2.42. 2.42. Then it says the continuous push for higher wages can lead to unemployment for the workers. So that is that. If wages rise too much, employers may reduce staff to cut costs. So that is why we are saying it will lead to unemployment. Because if ever the wages are going to rise, it means the staff is going to be downsized. So that is that. The demand for higher wages can lead to inflation. Rising prices, basic goods becoming more expensive. So when many firms raise prices to cover wages cost and overall price rise. So that is what we are trying to say. So now let us move on to another questions. So now let us be on question 2.5. 2.5 reads as follows. Complete the following sentence by filling in the missing words. 2.51. Dash is a union representing educators. Dash is a union representing what? Educators. So that is that 2.41, where that union can be SATU, it can be NAPTOSA, it can be SAU, it can be PEO. So those are the unions that can represent educators. That is that. Also, 2.52, the National Union of Mine Workers is also known as, it is also known as NAM. So this is the end of total. This is the end of section B, total section B, where you are to get 22. So let us move on without wasting time and come to section C now. Let us be on section C, question 3. Section C, question 3, where now we're going to mainly look at entrepreneur. We are on entrepreneur. So question 3 is all about functions of business. So now we have to read the case study that is given here. We have to read the case study that is given. So here is the case study, Nduli Beauty Company. So the case study reads as follows, or the scenario reads as follows. The Nduli Beauty Company specializes in the popular range of beauty products that are shipped to retail stores in all major towns in South Africa. This progressive business carries out market research regularly to keep up changing fashions and consumer preferences and taste. So it also checks what competition is doing and what the consumer market thinks of Nduli Beauty Company. Simply Nduli, the owner, is proud of her growing business and supportive board of directors. The management team is enthusiastic and competent. New suggestions for a staff canteen and gym facilities by Isaiah, the HR manager, have been well received. Upgraded computer technology has improved information access. So in addition, the purchasing department has identified a new supply of raw materials that offers affordable quality products. and we keep contributing company's products competitive. The cash flow is healthy, and the firm of consultants have suggested ways to reduce business risks. So after this scenario, then we are to answer the questions that follow. We have 3.1 now. We are now on 3.1, which now read as follows. Explain the following business functions and provide example from the case study for each, and complete the table on your answer sheet. So that is that. So now we are going to look at the human resource function and explain it and give the example. Same as financial function, explain it and give what the example. So let's quickly go to the answers. Let's quickly go to the answers. Let's quickly go to the answers. Here are our answers for 3.1. Here are our answers for 3.1. We have human resource function, like we told. Then the explanation of human resource function. When you talk of human resource function, we are talking about it is responsible for recruiting. It's responsible for recruiting, training, and managing employees to ensure effective performance. For example, hiring new staff and providing training for better productivity. That's what we are saying about what human resource function. Like here, there's a human resource management is a management function concerned with hiring, like I've said, motivating and maintaining the workforce of an organization. Or human resource management deals with issues related to employees such as hiring, training, development, compensation, motivation, communication, and administration. So the examples like we are given here, suggestion for staff curtain and gym facilitated by Shire, the HR manager. Remember, this is from the scenario. This is from the scenario. So that you know that there are suggestions for the staff curtain and gym facilities by the Shire. So if we can, so now let us be on financial function. Let us be financial function. With financial function, you know that it manages organizations' money. It manages organizations' money, including budgeting, accounting, financial planning. We can even give an example where we're saying preparing a company's annual budget or control expenses. That is that. So here for the answer that you are given, it says the financial function business refers to the functions intended to acquire, manage financial resources to generate profit. It also produces relevant financial resources, information contributing to the productivity of other business functions, planning, like we have said, decision making, and all of that. So the example can be the cash flow is healthy. So this is from the scenario. That is 3.1. So now let us move on to 3.2. Here we are on 3.2. 3.2 says list and explain three levels of management. List and explain three levels of management. And we know the three levels of management as when you're talking about top management. We're talking about top management. We're talking about mental management. We're talking about mental management. We're talking about the lower management. But we're talking about this. These are our three levels of management for this question 3.2. So now let us go to the answer that we are having. Let's go to the answer that we are having. 3.2, here are our answers. Top management. Top management. So with top management, we know very well that top management makes major decision. They make major decision and sets overall goals of the organizations. They make what? Major decisions. For example, we can talk about the CEO deciding to expand the company into new markets. Those are the major decisions that are made on the top management. Like here, they're saying they make decisions in a business. The owner and CEO serves as an example. So meaning to say, we are saying they make what? Major decisions. They make major decisions. They make major decisions and says the overall goals and strategies of the business. Now coming to the middle management. With middle management, they implement plans of top management. These ones, they implement plans. They implement plans of top management and supervises lower management. So that is the function. Like here, it says they put system in place and plan for the action plan for the action, the decisions made by the top management. Like we are saying now that they implement the plans of top management and supervise low management. So, and head of the financial management, marketing manager, SIA is a human resource manager. Now coming to the lower management. Lower management supervises day-to-day work. This one, they supervises day-to-day work. He supervises day-to-day work. Day-to-day work. Those are lower management. Like they are saying, they are in charge of performing the tasks decided by the top management, e.g. team leaders of marketing. So that is that. So that is how we expected to answer this question. So let us move on to 3.3. 3.3. So here we are on 3.3. As it says, identified initially by Henry Val as a 5 elements, there are now 4 commonly expected tasks of management that encompasses the necessary skills. Discuss 4 management tasks that need to be performed by Nduli Beauty Company's management. So here we know for sure the 4 management tasks. That is when you're talking about planning. That is when you're talking about planning, organizing. That's when you're talking about leading, as well as control. So now let us quickly go to the answers again. So here we are on 3.3. So we have planning, like we have said. So with planning, they are saying drafting goals and vision of the organization and the mission. So with planning, this is whereby we are setting objectives and deciding how to achieve them. For example, planning to increase sales by 15% next year. So that is that. So now coming to the organizing, distributing the work to different functions so that the vision is met. So with organizing now, we are trying to say you are going to arrange resources and tasks to carry out what? The plan. For example, assigning roles and forming teams for a project. That's organizing. Leading, motivating workers to do the job to meet goals. So with leading, we are saying you are guiding and motivating employees to achieve goals. For example, a manager encouraging team to meet the deadlines. So that is that. Or that is the answer for 3.3. Now we're coming to control. With control, managers observe and check the outcomes of the plans of the organization, meaning to say you are monitoring the performance, taking corrective action when needed. For example, comparing actual sales to the targets and adjusting marketing plans. So that is that. That is 3.3. So now let us move on to other question. That was 3.3, and then we come to 3.4. 3.4. 3.4 says it mentioned 2 labor laws that Simpio must keep in mind and adhere to and ensure that the business can be held legally. So that is 3.4. Mention two, labor laws. So let us quickly go to the answers. The labor laws. So here we are on 3.4. We are talking of what? Basic Conditions of Employment Act. So basic conditions of employment work, we know that this act protects workers by setting minimum working standards such as working hours, leave, overtime pay, like that. For example, wherever we are saying you ensure employees work no more than 45 hours per week. That's what the basic conditions of employment act all about. Now we also have Employment Equity Act. With Employment Equity Act, which is EEA, it promotes what fairness by preventing discrimination, encouraging equal opportunities at work. That's what this act is all about. Labor Relation Act, it regulates relationship between employer and employees, including trade unions and also collective bargaining. Now, the Occupational Health and Safety Act, it's all about ensuring safe and healthy working environments by setting safety rules employers must follow. So that is 3.4. So now let us go to 3.5 and try to find what 3.5 was. 3.5, in your opinion, do you think public relations play an important role in a business? Public relations play an important role in a business. So that this, yes, it builds positive brand, it builds image of a business, it ensures that communication is direct and that the right message is sent out. So so that's all about question 3. So now let us go to question 4. So now we are on question 4 now. We are on question 4, which is a business plan. Question 4 is all about what? Business plan. All about business plan. Read the following case study and answer the questions that follow. Local girls that deliver service. So now we have to read this case study together. As it reads like as follows. Amid the nationwide lockdown, a group of entrepreneurs, teenage girls from Ingagala, are saving their community by offering 6 rand delivery service for essential items and takeaways. So the service is called Sims Deliveries and is operated by 9 girls from the Ngangala area who ride their bikes to bring deliveries to the community. So delivery costs a flat fee of 60 rand. So the age of cyclists range from 16 to 19 years old. So the youngest team member, 12-year-old Tando, looks after the bicycle to make sure that they are working properly and are ready for the road each day. So our vision for Sims delivery is to be reliable alternative to where we do shopping or the way we exchange money and goods take place between vendors and customers in a black communities, while also having an impact on the lives of young girls in our townships. They explain on their Facebook page. So it further read on like this. We would like to invite you to be part of vision that seeks to move the community forward and a vision that wants to improve young lives of by requesting a delivery and making your 60 count. While 6 rand might not seem like much every bit helps. Deliveries can be arranged through several means. Customers can contact girls on numbers listed below, place an order at a specific shop and ask the owner to request the delivery or simple stop the girls on the street and ask for delivery to be made. So if you'd like a delivery, contact this number. So now we have to answer the questions that follow. 4.1. Which opportunity was identified by the girls in the case study above? Which opportunity was identified by the girls in the case study above. So now we have to give the answers for 4.1. So here are our answers for 4.1. And that is 4.1. The delivery service for essential takeaways. So that is the opportunity. The delivery service for essential and takeaways. So that's hard. But the opportunity that was identified. So now 4.2, the girls don't have a business plan yet. What is the vision of Sims delivery? What is the vision of Sims delivery? So that is that. The vision is that they want it to be reliable alternative to the way we do shopping or the way they exchange money or goods to take place between vendors and customers in the black communities, while also having positive impact lives on young girls in township. I think we will hear that when we're reading the case study. So that is that. So it is there in the case study. So it is there in the case study where they are saying their vision here is that vision for question 4.21. So the answer is here. This is the vision that they are talking about. That is their vision. Or our vision is seems delivery for being a reliable alternative way to way we do things or the way we exchange money and goods take place between vendors and customers. So this is the vision that we're talking about for 4.21. So now let us move on to 4.22. List four aspects that need to be included in the cover page of the business plan. So now let us go to our answers. So here we are on question 4.22. 4.22. The name of the business. So these are the name of the business. Should have a name of business. Let's say, for example, the name of the business is Fresh Blend Smoothies. So you should know the name of the business should be there. The logo. So logo is very important. A colorful image of a fruit-filled cup with a straw or green leaf symbol on top. For our Fresh Blend Smoothies, yes, for example. Slogan. Can come up with the slogan of the Fresh Blend Smoothies. Like we have said, the name of our business here, we can make an example of saying, let's say it's a fresh blend smoothies. So now we have to give the slogan of this business. So you can say the slogan can be blending health with happiness. So that is that. So now the address of the business. So you can give the address of the business, let's say 123 Market Street, Devon, South Africa, 4001. That is the address. Now contact details also. With contact details, you're talking about the phone numbers, email address, the websites. Date on which business plan was prepared. So we want the date on which the business plan was prepared. So maybe let's say 10 October 2025. That is that. Now, a person by whom the business plan was prepared and their position in the business. So now we're talking about the person whom the business plan was prepared. Like if it was, let's say it was prepared by Taldin Kise. So the position is the managing director of the Fresh Blend Smoothies. So that is how you expected to answer that question. That question. That is how you expected to answer that question. 4.22 when you were asked to list the aspects that are included on the cover page of the business plan. So those are aspects that you've talked about. So now let us move on to 4.3, which it has A and B. So 4.3 said indicate the acronym SOT stands for by indicating the correct word in each of the blocks on the answer. So we know very well that SOT is strength, weakness, weakness, that is that. And then we have what? Opportunities. Opportunities and the strength, no? Threats, sorry. Threats, no? So here is strength. So this is what this acronym that you are asked to indicate what the acronym SWOT stands for. So this is what it stands for. B, from the case study, complete SWOT analysis of SIMS deliveries include one aspect in each block in the answer. So from the case study, now you have to complete the SWOT analysis for SIMS delivery. So let us go to the answer. So here we are to our answers. So you can see here we're talking about the strength of that business, whereby we can talk about the teamwork. Everyone has their role. Also, they do advertise their products and services. So they advertise what they're offering. So that is a strength because they are making the potential customers about their offerings. So that will increase their market share when they do advertise. But the weakness, if someone gets sick, the deliveries cannot always take place. So that is where they lack now. That is a weakness because if someone is sick and then there is no delivery, so it means now the sales are going to decline, the profits are going to be affected. Cost of delivery are high. So if the cost of delivery are high now, it means now that business, that SIM deliveries now, they are going to part ways with part of their profit, trying by always to cap up the delivery. So with opportunities, more children can get involved. So if more children get involved, it means more sales. Expand to other areas. So if they expand to other areas, it means they are now increasing their market share. So more sales, like I've said, more profits. Create a variety of products delivered. So if there are a variety of products, it means that as well will increase their sales because customers will just get what they want under one shop. Freight. Other youngsters who provide the same service competition. So the threat is when the other competitors are entering into the market. Bikes can be stolen. So those bikes sometimes can be stolen. So that is that. That is 4.3. So let us move on to 4.4 now. Here is our 4.4. The business plan will include different components. Classify each of the following statements from the case study to assist the guests, making sure the correct information is included in the relevant component of the business plan. So, for example, offering delivery service of essential goods. Included in this plan component, description of the service product. So now we are to, that was an example. Now we are to go to A up to D now. So that is that. Go to our answers. Here we are on 4.4. Here we are on 4.4. A, as it says, statement, they have posters on their Facebook page. That's what we had. So that one, if they have posters on their Facebook, that is a marketing plan. That is how we can, that is the component of the business plan, marketing plan. Information on the money that is needed to expand the business. So now we're talking about what is the component now is what? Financial plan. Tell possible investors a lot about the business. So now we are saying the component is money management plan. What machinery and equipment is needed to provide the goods and service? So this one is a product plan. So now 4.5, 4.5 says complete the following sentence. The marketing mix addresses price, product, and promotion. Price, product, and promotion. So we want to know what is missing here. If we have price, if we have product, if we have promotion. So the missing is what? It's a place. with what? Place. So that is that. The missing is the place. So that is the end of this presentation. Thank you very much. Make sure that you're going to share with others so as to prepare ourselves so that we keep ourselves ready for the paper two that you're going to write soon in November of Economic and Management and Sciences, EMS. So let us make sure that we are going to use this presentation. Thank you very much.